Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Chat. I'm David.
And I'm Anna. We are so happy to have you here with us today. If you are learning English and want to practice your listening skills, you are in the exact right place.
That's right, Anna. Today we have a very exciting topic. We are going to talk about travel, first impressions, and that strange feeling we all get when we visit a new place. Culture shock.
Oh, culture shock. That is such a great topic, David. Actually, I recently came back from a 2-week trip to Japan and, let me tell you, I experienced a lot of it.
Really? I can't wait to hear all about it. But before we start, let's explain what culture shock actually means for our listeners. Anna, how would you describe it?
Well, to put it simply, culture shock is the feeling of confusion or surprise that you get when you visit a country that has a very different way of life from yours. It's when things like food, behavior, or even daily habits feel completely strange to you.
Exactly. It can be a bit scary at first, but it is also one of the best parts of traveling because you learn so much. So, Anna, tell us about your first day in Tokyo. What was your very first impression?
Honestly, David, my first impression was about how quiet it was. I arrived at the Tokyo train station during rush hour. There were thousands of people walking around going to work, but there was almost no noise. Nobody was talking loudly on their phones, and there was no loud music. It was incredibly peaceful, but also very surprising.
Wow, really? If you go to a train station in London or New York during rush hour, it is usually incredibly loud. People are shouting, running, and talking constantly.
I know. In Tokyo, people are very careful about not disturbing others. For example, on the trains, there are signs that ask you to put your phone on silent mode. They call it manner mode, and to avoid talking. I actually had to make an effort to keep my voice down when I was talking to my husband.
That is fascinating. To make an effort is a good phrase for our listeners, by the way. It means to try hard to do something, right?
Yes, exactly. I had to try really hard to speak softly because, well, I am used to talking quite loudly.
I think many of us are. Did you find it difficult to find your way around the city? Did you get lost?
Oh, I got lost all the time. But getting lost is part of the adventure, isn't it? Fortunately, the local people were extremely kind. Even if they didn't speak English perfectly, they did their best to help me. One time, an elderly gentleman actually walked with us for 10 minutes just to show us the right metro entrance.
Oh, wow. That is so sweet. It really shows how welcoming people can be. Did you try to use any Japanese while you were there?
Yes, I did. Before the trip, I spent about a month trying to learn some basic phrases. I learned things like arigato gozaimasu, which means thank you very much, and sumimasen, which means excuse me.
That's amazing. Did it help?
It helped a lot. People really appreciate it when you try to speak their language. Even if you make mistakes, they smile and feel happy that you are making an effort. I highly recommend learning at least 5 or 10 basic words before visiting any new country.
I completely agree with you, Anna. Whenever I travel, I always try to learn how to say please, thank you, hello, and where is the bathroom? Those 4 phrases can save your life.
Yes, especially the last one.
So, Anna, let's talk about something that everyone loves. Food. Japanese food is famous worldwide, but eating in Japan must be quite different from eating in Western countries. Did you have any food culture shock?
Oh, absolutely. The first shock was when we went to a traditional restaurant. Before we entered, we had to take off our shoes and put them in a small locker.
Really? You had to take off your shoes inside a restaurant?
Yes. Many traditional restaurants have tatami mats on the floor, which are made of straw. To keep them clean, you must walk on them in your socks or in special slippers. It felt a bit strange at first to eat in a restaurant without my shoes on, but it was actually very comfortable and cozy.
That sounds very relaxing, actually. What about the food itself? Did you eat anything unusual?
Well, I love sushi, so I was very excited about that. But I also tried something called natto. Have you ever heard of it, David?
The name sounds familiar. Is it made of beans?
Yes, they are fermented soybeans. They have a very strong smell, and the texture is very sticky and slimy. To be honest, I didn't really like it, but I'm glad I tried it.
Well, you have to try everything once. That's the rule of traveling. Speaking of food, how did you manage with chopsticks? Did you use them easily, or did you have to ask for a fork?
I practiced using chopsticks at home before the trip, so I was okay. But my husband, he struggled a lot. He kept dropping his food. At one point, a piece of tempura flew off his plate and landed on the floor.
Oh no, that must have been so embarrassing.
It was, but the waiter was very nice. He laughed gently and brought my husband a fork without us even asking.
That's wonderful service. Now, let's take a quick break to look at some of the interesting vocabulary we have used so far. For our listeners, we want to highlight a few key phrases.
Great idea. Let's start with to get lost. David, can you explain this one?
Of course. To get lost means that you do not know where you are and you don't know how to reach your destination. For example, I got lost in the forest.
Perfect. And another one we used was to take off. In this context, we talked about taking off shoes. It means to remove something that you are wearing, like clothes, shoes, or glasses.
Yes, and remember, listeners, take off can also mean when an airplane leaves the ground and starts to fly. But here, it simply means to remove clothing.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Daily Chat. Before the break, we were talking about my trip to Japan, food, and some funny moments with chopsticks.
Yes, I'm still thinking about that flying piece of tempura. But now, Anna, let's move on to another very important part of travel: public transport. How did you find the trains in Japan? I've heard they are incredibly fast and always on time.
Oh, David, on time is an understatement. They are incredibly precise. If a train is scheduled to leave at 10:14, it leaves at exactly 10:14. Not 10:15, not 10:13. It is amazing. And we also took the famous Shinkansen, which is the bullet train.
Oh, wow! The bullet train! How fast does it actually go?
It goes about 320 kilometers per hour. But when you are inside, it feels so smooth. It's like you are flying on the ground. I was looking out the window and the buildings were just flying past. It was breathtaking.
That sounds incredible. I really want to experience that one day. But tell me, was it difficult to buy tickets? Sometimes, using ticket machines in a foreign country can be very stressful.
Honestly, yes. On our first day, we stood in front of the ticket machine for about 10 minutes, just staring at it. There were so many buttons and colors. We couldn't figure out how to buy a simple ticket.
Oh, I can imagine that. Did you feel panicked?
A little bit, yes. The station was so crowded and we felt like we were blocking the way. But then a very nice lady saw us looking confused. She came over, smiled, and changed the machine language to English for us. It was a lifesaver.
That's wonderful. To figure out is another great phrasal verb, isn't it? Let's quickly explain that to our listeners.
Yes, to figure out means to understand or solve something after thinking about it. For example, I need to figure out how to use this camera.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about money. Tipping culture is very different around the world. In the US, for example, you must tip almost everyone. In the UK, it's polite, but not always required. What is it like in Japan?
Oh, this is a very important point. In Japan, there is absolutely no tipping. In fact, if you leave extra money on the table, the waiter will probably run after you down the street to give it back to you.
Really? They will run after you?
Yes, seriously. It actually happened to us. We left a few coins on the table because we didn't want the change. We walked out, and after a block, we heard someone shouting. It was our waiter, running and holding the coins in his hand. He looked so worried.
Oh, that is hilarious, but also so honest of him. Why don't they accept tips?
Well, in Japanese culture, good service is simply expected. It is part of their job, and they take great pride in doing their work well. They believe that you are already paying for the service when you pay for the food. So, tipping can actually be seen as slightly impolite because it implies that the restaurant doesn't pay its staff enough.
That is such a different perspective. It's so interesting how the same action, giving extra money, can mean thank you in one country and be considered rude in another.
I know, right? That's why it's so important to research a country's customs before you travel. You don't want to accidentally offend anyone.
Wow, technology is really changing the way we travel, isn't it? Goodbye, everyone!
Bye-bye.